When they break a pot or a bowl, they don't put it together so you can't see the break. They seam it with gold, and it makes it more beautiful, and it makes it unique. And that's what cancer has done. When my husband and my family put me back together after cancer, and now the metastatic cancer, I choose to think of things positively. The cancer has become the gold to make me look at everything as so much more beautiful.
My name is Shannan Ajluni. I'm 41 years old. I'm a wife and a mother and an advocate and a super fan of several things. Child of God. And at the very, very bottom of that list is I'm a metastatic breast cancer patient, stage 4. My daughter, my one and only girl, she's 21, and she's the mother of my grandbaby, and she's married. She lives out on her own. I don't get to see her as much as I wish. She works full-time, he works full-time, so I very rarely get to see them, even though they live about 5 miles from my house. You know, I'm used to seeing them every day. But it's been about a year since they've been married, a little over a year since they were married. It's been about a year and a half since she's moved out. So that's hard. I miss having another female in the house. I have 3 sons. My son Robert is 18, just graduated high school. As of this morning, signed the papers and enlisted in the Coast Guard. I'm so proud of him. And then I have 10-year-old Joey, who's autistic and awesome and funny and hilarious, and he's a 5th grader. And then I have 8-year-old Oliver, who also has terminal cancer. And, you know, again, that's the bottom of his list. He's a 3rd grader and hilarious and serious and a lot more mature than he should be for his age. Ollie was 18 months when he was diagnosed, but actually it started, they believe he was born with the cancer. We knew something wasn't going to be 100% normal with him when we lost his twin sister in the womb. She passed away. When Evelyn passed away, they told us that Oliver may not go full term, that he was more than likely going to be a preemie. They prepared us for him to be a micro-preemie. I worked really hard and did everything by the book as much as I could. I managed to carry him to 32 weeks. He was born at 32 weeks, and from the day he was born, there was always something wrong with him. When he was 15 months old, he was picked up, and he screamed, and then he stopped using his arm. And we thought his arm was dislocated. And this bump came back on his shoulder, and they thought, oh, his shoulder's been dislocated. Took him to the ER. They said, no, his shoulder's fine. There's really nothing, more we can do about it. But it's just a soft tissue injury, it'll heal. Over the next 3 to 4 weeks, it didn't heal. It got bigger and bigger and bigger. And my pediatrician is like, this is not right. Tried to getting him in with orthopedics. But then my autistic one, in December of that same year, about 3 months later, of us still begging people to look at him, he broke his leg. Well, now we had to be at orthopedics, right? So I took Ollie with me when I took Joey to get his cast. When he got done dealing with Joey, I'm like, thank you for taking care of this child. Now you're going to look at this one. And I took his shirt off, and there's this thing the size of a lemon on the back of my teeny tiny toddler's body. He was 18 months old, but he wore a size 6 to 9 months clothes. It was very small. And the doctor looks at me and he's like, oh my God, that's a tumor. Why weren't you here sooner? And I mean, whirlwind, within a week, He had biopsy, he had MRI, he had CT scans, x-rays, all this stuff. And they're like, he's got this, they said it was Ewing sarcoma, and that they were going to set up hospice. Because with Ewing sarcoma, you have a less than 1% chance of a 1-year survival if you find the tumor before it's the size of a pea. It's the size of a lemon on the back of my baby. And I was like, I want a second opinion. And they finally told us, well, it's not Ewing's, it's something called Langerhans cell histiocytosis. And I took him elsewhere. And we ended up in Houston, Texas at the #1 histiocytosis doctor on the planet. He said, yeah, he's bad. Yeah, this kills kids every day. It's a very rare disease. It's very, very rare. But there's no reason why you can't fight it. And I asked him point blank, where do I go other than having to move to Houston? Where can I go in California to get the good care for my baby? He told me San Diego. Fine. And we've been driving, flying, or taking the train to San Diego at least once a month since 2012. Histiocytosis doesn't stage out like my cancer does, like normal cancers do. So he would be considered stage 4 if it did stage out that way. So he did go into remission for a little while where he had no evidence of disease. He had the holes where the cancer was in the bones, but it was actually reossifying, it was healing. When he came out of remission, so when the seizures started again and all the issues started again, the fevers, now it's in his central nervous system. So we have that issue. And once it's in your central nervous system, it's considered terminal, but it's a very slow terminal. And I always say you're terminal from the day you're born anyway. We just, have a little bit more of a clue of how we're gonna go. I was diagnosed by a minor fender bender, believe it or not. I was an interpreter for the deaf, working at a high school. That was my dream career. And I was stopped, ready to turn into the parking lot, and was rear-ended. At the time, they sent me to the ER, and they took an x-ray of her shoulder. And they saw something in my breast that probably shouldn't have been there. They didn't say anything about it at first. They just put me in a sling and told me I needed to go see my doctor. So then, now that something's there, I'm like, and I felt something about the size of the tip of my pinky. I thought, well, maybe he hit me harder than I thought it was. Maybe it's just a milk duct thing, because Ollie had only been done nursing for maybe 6 months. I don't know. I just thought, well, I'll just keep an eye on it through my next cycle, see if it's hormonal. But then once you notice something's there, you can't keep your hand off yourself. And it seemed to be growing. And within 2 weeks, my cycle came, and then my cycle went, and now it's the size of the pad of my thumb. And I know that that's not right. And I said, I'm calling doctor. And he said, absolutely, call her. Well, I called her, and she's like, you just had your well woman exam in September. This is the 1st of October. There was nothing in your breast then. I did a breast exam. I said, I know, but there is now. And so she had me come in the next day. That was the 28th of October. And she did an exam, and she says, Shannan, I have to tell you, I'm fairly alarmed at this. Matter of fact, I'm extremely alarmed. And she set me up for a mammogram. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna get the mammogram. We go in the mammogram, blah, blah, blah. Very next day, David takes me, my husband takes me, and he's sitting in the waiting room. And they put you in this machine, mush and squish, and something's wrong when they leave you squashed in a machine and the tech leaves the room and comes back with a doctor. What they also don't know, and which I need to let all of the cancer places, mammogram places know, don't put a reflective glass picture behind the screen where you have your computer screen, because I could see what was on that computer screen, that the image was reflected in that picture. I've been looking at images of cancer for the last 3 years at that point, 4 years at that point. I knew exactly what I was looking at. So that was the 14th of November when I got the official diagnosis 2014 from my primary care doctor. But I'd already known. For 6 weeks, I'd already known it's breast cancer. And it's the most aggressive breast cancer my doctor had ever seen. By this time, it's the 15th of November. And remember, I felt it at the 5th of October is my car accident. The 8th is when I took my sling off. It was the size of the tip of my pinky. It's now the size of a golf ball. And it's just getting bigger. He immediately sends me to the doctor, the surgeon that I wanted to. He says, we're not going to do the mastectomies right off the bat. You need chemo. We need to stop it first. They put the port in, and that was the 15th I met with the oncologist, 16th I met with the surgeon, the 17th I put the port in. And I had my first chemo treatment on the 24th of November. It hit me and I immediately had the hot flash of all hot flashes. Up until that point, I didn't really know what hot flashes were because I was still mensing. I was not in menopause. I was still fully fertile. I knew that red Kool-Aid of death meant I would never be able to have another baby. Even though I didn't want another baby, maybe I did, I don't know, because I had that reaction of I'm never going to be able to have another baby. I love babies, you know. I'm going to be a grandmother in a couple of weeks, and I'm sad because I'm never going to be able to have another baby because this chemo is going to kill my eggs and mess with my reproduction. And that's a huge part of who I am, is I'm a mom. And I you know, that pissed me off. So I'm crying and I'm mad and I'm crying and I'm snot running down my face and shaking, and there, you know, there's a lady next to me and she just leans over and she says, "First time?" "Yep," she said. "I was the same way the first time." She says, I'm at 22 now. This is my 22nd chemo. She says, "You'll get used to it." I've had nightmares of it coming back before it did. But see, when Ollie went into remission in August of 2014, I was diagnosed November of 2014. I went into remission January of 2016. Ollie relapsed, and he relapsed in March of 2016. So in those 2 months, from me going into remission to Ollie relapsing, I absolutely thought I beat this thing. I'm like, they cure breast cancer every day. It's one of the most curable cancers out there. I'm good. God wouldn't do this to me. I'm fine. May of 2018, my belly incision, which was the incision that healed the fastest, and it was the most perfect. I'd had no issues. A lot of women have issues with their belly incision. It was healed. And all of a sudden I got this little, and I mean little, it's like little, you know, like a half an inch by a half an inch, part of my incision that kind of bubbled up and turned purple. And then another one did it. And when I pushed one bubble in, the other bubble got bigger. And I'm thinking, oh shit, that's an infection. And so I kind of give myself a panic attack. I don't want to lose my life to an infection after going through all of this. So I call my surgeon, and he says, "It sounds like it's an infection. I'm going to call you in a prescription, but I want you to go to the emergency room and get an ultrasound." So at 1 o'clock, throwing me through the CT, I'm starting to see a lot of, you know, a lot of this, and looking over at me. And then they asked to move me from the clinic waiting area where I'm at, where there's like 8 or 10 of us in one little space. Because I was in the triage area, and they put me behind a curtain. "David, something's not right here. Something's wrong with this infection." And I honestly thought it was the infection. It never, ever, 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 ever occurred to me that it was something else, because my doctor had been telling me I was fine. There was no, every time I'd go see him, "You're doing great, no big deal. Okay, you're good." And so they're gonna tell me that like it's moved into my infection is like around whatever. They're gonna put me in the hospital or something. And the doctor comes in and she says, good news, the infection is very minimal. It's literally skin deep. It's not even what we would consider an infection. Your body doesn't like the dissolvable stitches that are under there. And so it's trying to take care of these stitches and push them out. It's called a spitting stitch. And then she'd been standing over the gurney where I was sitting, and then she kind of squats down so she's more on eye level. She says, but we found something else. And it hit me, like right between the eyes, and I just looked at her. I said, it's back, isn't it? It's back. And she said, looks like it. We found lesions in your pelvis and your spine and your ribs. Matter of fact, the thing says innumerable lesions. But I was flipping through my phone, and I'm looking at pictures of my kids, looking pictures of my grandson, and I'm like, I did everything right. I did everything right. I got healthy. I did everything right. I did everything right. Why? And they ended up calling my doctor and calling clergy, and that's the night I found out I was stage 4. I remember saying, I'm not afraid to die. And I'm not. I'm honestly not afraid to die. I know in my heart of hearts, my belief, my faith is I'm going to heaven. And I will get to be with my loved ones. I'll get to be with Jesus, and I'm okay with that. I'm not okay leaving my babies behind. I'm not okay with them having that pain. Because I lost my dad when I was 7. And I know that pain. I'm not okay with that. But the most vivid feeling I remember, and I still give myself issues over it, is I don't know who needs to die first, me or Ollie. Do I want him to actually watch me die? Just to have him dying himself later? Do I want to save him that pain and have him go first? But then who's going to meet him at the gates of heaven? Who's going to meet him there to hug him and say it's okay? So, do I need to die first so that I can be there for him? So that when he gets there, he's not wondering who these people are. Do I need to do that? Do I need to pray that I go first? Or do I need to pray that he goes first so that I can hold his hand and tell him Mommy loves him and be there for him the whole time while he transitions to heaven? I've discovered that myself, if I'm just left to sit here on the couch and do nothing, I start wallowing. I start getting really sad and really upset about all that I'll leave behind. I don't want to, it sounds really bad, I don't want to be like my dad. My dad died when I was 7 years old. The only thing that's my dad anymore is the necklace I wear and a picture on the wall and stories that I tell. I don't want to be just stories and a picture on the wall. So I have to look forward to things. I have to plan things to look forward to. There were things to look forward to with the photo shoot and, getting all of that all together. That was fun. And then at the photo shoot, right after when Holly surprised me with the tickets to the Labyrinth Ball, then I had to look forward to the ball. If nothing else other than making me feel really, really good about myself and having fun, I've met new people. And I'm really happy about that. You should have seen the boys' face when I came back with hair. From when I first got my hair. They were both like, did you grow your hair that fast?
And they had to come and pick it apart and see that Mom's hair is only this long, but it's all blended in with all of the extensions. And they thought it was great. Ollie said something the other day. I'd been playing with makeup, trying to decide how I was going to do my makeup for the ball. And he comes up and he just kind of pats my face and he says, "I'm so glad to see you happy again." Because apparently when I first was diagnosed with the stage 4, I really, really went into kind of a tailspin for a while. I remember, I should take a shower, but why? I'm gonna die. Who cares if I'm dirty? I don't care. And you're allowed to do that. Everyone is allowed to do that. Go there, but don't stay there. The woman that is being honored by the face of cancer, as a woman who's been honored by the face of cancer, I got my sense of self back. When you have cancer, everything is done to you. You have no choice to get poked with needles and get poison poured in your body. And you have to drop everything and go to the doctor. And you have to, dude, a fever is a medical emergency. You can't just lay here and take Tylenol and chicken soup and curl up on your couch. You have to go to the hospital for a fever. All of a sudden, things are getting done to you when you have cancer. And for just that little bit, with the face of cancer, things are being done for you. And it's fun. Women like being pampered, like, having this, for being such a tiny charity. The impact is gigantic. I mean, I don't think I've gone on Facebook Live and not had something to say about face of cancer. How it's made me feel good again. How it's made me put makeup back on again. I love makeup. Makeup is my thing. And I don't think I wore makeup for 6 months. And then all of a sudden, they put makeup on me for the shoot. And that feels kind of good. And I remember how much fun it is. So I dust off my makeup palettes and throw a face back on and realize that's my happy. I had so much fun. And it was just right up my alley. I don't think I could have done, high glamour, runway. That's not me. Throw some wings and some glitter at me, dude, and we're good. We're good. It'll be fun, So I love it. It was so much fun. It's all mental and heart. That's what face of cancer did for me. It took that dark, heavy, wet, hot woolen blanket of despair of being told that you have a timeline and that you're going to not live long enough to see your other children have children, and that, at least you got to see one grandbaby. That ugly, stinky, hot, wet woolen blanket, and ripped it off so I can see the colors and the sunshine and be warm again. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's hard to explain. I feel like it was a kick in the ass that I needed to get out of that funk.
montage in a movie, right before the hero dies, like the first time that you listen to your favorite single live, like an echo in a canyon, like tears but you're not sad, like a sunrise on a mountain. I wanna move you like that. Oh, I wanna move you like that. Like a symphony at sundown in the middle of July, when a lyric really gets you and it breaks you down inside, like the home that you were raised in, like faded photographs, like the thrill of Christmas morning. Yeah, I wanna move you like that. Like a choir shouts amen, like your first time falling in love, or a stairway up to heaven, like a soldier who is falling as he holds his country's flag and he fights for freedom's calling. I wanna move you like that. That fuels the light, like the hands that simply hold you when words can't make it right, like the first time that I met you, I felt so high, so fast, like that montage in a movie. The way you move me, I wanna move you like that.
Hi, my name is Christy Jordan. I'm the owner of California Looks. I've had a salon here in Visalia for 29 years. I came here tonight to watch the movie of Face of Cancer. I've had a lot of different influences in my life of people that had cancer, and I was kind of interested to come and check it out. I was super inspired on what Holly is doing, and I really want to be a part of this organization and help in any way I can.
My name is Robert Rowland Smith. I'm an anesthesiologist at Kauai Delta Hospital here in town. I've been in the position of putting women to sleep for their anesthesia, and they're very worried about cancer of the breast or any kind of cancer, because most women, when they hear the word cancer, they think it's all over, and you have to give them hope. And I think two ladies in this movie, especially Shannan and then Holly really touched me with their braveness and facing that and to give other women hope.
Hi, I'm Lori Madden, and I'm here because I support Face of Cancer. I am by license a clinical scientist, which means that I work in the hospital world.
The transformation that these women go through from before, when we first meet them, through the process, and their dignity, their feeling of self-worth is so improved. It's unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it.
I've recently lost my own daughter a month ago to cancer, and I was told 15 years ago she would only have 6 months to live, and she lived 15 years. So we initially were not given that hope, but I think this film can touch a lot of women and give them hope to fight, because it advertises the strength of their personalities, that they never give up hope in their faith.
This organization is one that brings hope to women that are fighting for their lives, fighting for their kids to have a mom, fighting for just to get up in the morning. And so I support Holly Carter, I support the Face of Cancer, I support these women in any way that I can, whether in the clinic, in the hospital. And I'm here tonight because I support Shannan and all that goes behind going through a photo shoot and getting up in the morning and taking care of all of her kids.
I think this is an amazing organization, because when cancer does make you feel down and out, and to make people feel beautiful in any way they possibly can, I think is always an inspiration to everybody. So thank you, Holly, for everything you've done.